What's going on, guys? Today we're going to explain the full backstory of Yuno, who is Asta's main rival in Black Clover, and a guy who can seemingly do no wrong. Okay, well, most of the time. This character has really interested me ever since I began this series, because I was always kind of confused as to how this poor orphan was just so good at magic, even more so than nobles and royalty. As the manga progresses, we finally did get some answers as to why he's so talented, and so this video will cover those tragic events and, his whole backstory up until we first meet him in the anime. If you'd like me to do more Black Clover videos, then be sure to drop a like and let me know any topics that you think are worth covering in the future. Okay, so Yuno was originally born inside the Spade Kingdom, which is the largest and currently the strongest of the 4 main countries in Black Clover. His family was known as House Grinberryall, who ruled over the country peacefully, and for most people life was good, with the exception of the Spade Kingdom's cold climate. In the manga, we get one look at Yuno's mother, whose name was Lady Seal, but we don't get a solid look at his dad. However, it is known that his name was Lord Loyce. When Yuno was still a baby, someone entered the dangerous magic region that exists between the kingdoms and acquired this magic stone, which was then given to the young prince. For those of you who've watched the anime, you'll know the power and importance of this stone, and so it was pretty crazy that it was just found seemingly lying in the dangerous magic region, and yeah, Yuno's just had it since day one. Sometime after this, the king of the Spade Kingdom was killed by Dante Zagratis, who was an unsatisfied member of the Spade Kingdom military, and he had gained incredible power by making a deal with the devil known as Lucifer. Oh, actually I mean Lucifero. Together with his siblings Xenon and Vanica, they were collectively known as the Dark Triad and began to eliminate all the different members of the royal family, with their devil magic making them almost impossible to defeat. That being said though, since Yuno's birth there was a guy called Ralph who was given the responsibility of protecting him. Ralph's family had served Yuno's family for generations, and his father was captain of the Spade Kingdom's magic defense force. As the Dark Triad was killing off all the different royals, Ralph's father took Yuno and fled into the strong magic region. What was especially terrifying about this moment was that Ralph Sr. and Yuno were just meters away from being killed by Xenon, who to me is the most terrifying member of the Dark Triad. If it wasn't for these two guys right here who intervened, it's highly likely that Yuno never would have survived. Like I alluded to earlier, the strong magic region itself is incredibly dangerous, so for Ralph's dad to successfully travel across it with a baby in hand, super impressive stuff. Once they made it to the edge of the Clover Kingdom, Ralph Sr. used the last of his strength to leave Yuno outside this church in Hajj village, alongside his magic stone. This village is a poor area located in the Forsaken realm of the Clover Kingdom, and most people there have very little magic power and few opportunities beyond farming. On that same day, it just so happened that Asta was also abandoned outside the church, directly next to the young Spade Kingdom prince, and in the anime their names were written in similar writing, which has many implications. I mean, to me it makes it look like they were brought by the same person, but as we can see, Ralph was only carrying one child, so I don't know exactly how Asta ended up there yet, but I'm sure we will find out soon enough. The two of them grew up together as brothers and shared the same birthday, which from their perspective, their birthday is the day that they were found at the church. During their childhood, Yuno was incredibly timid and he would just cry at minor inconveniences and was generally fearful of the world around him. That said, his attitude first began to change when he heard the story of the first Wizard King, which if you've watched Black Clover, you've probably seen that story at least 100 times, I know I have. Yuno was both intrigued by the story and also by Asta's crazy declaration to become the next Wizard King. At this time, Hajj village had never had one of its residents become a magic knight, so to claim to become the Wizard King who, commands all the magic knight squads, that's a pretty bold thing to say. Many months later, Hajj village was running out of food and Yuno was given the sole responsibility to deliver a letter to a neighboring village asking for supplies. And after successfully delivering the letter, he was attacked by a drunk guy on the way back who wanted to steal and then sell his magic stone. Whilst Yuno attempted to get it back, he was pretty much powerless against this grown man, and yeah, if no one had intervened, he likely would have lost the magic stone. Lucky for him though, Asta realized that Yuno had been gone for quite a while, and so he went to kind of investigate, and once he showed up, he managed to get the stone back just through sheer persistence. In the process, Asta got pretty beaten up, but he reaffirmed his desire to become the Wizard King so that poor people in the Forsaken Realm would never have to worry about things like food or money ever again, and also just to prove to people that anybody can become the Wizard King if they put the work in. This moment is what inspired Yuno's spirit and gave him the resolve to try and become the next Wizard King himself, and also gave him the resolve to never cry again, which I don't know if that's healthy, but it's what he wanted to do. Because they both now had the same goal, and obviously only one of them can be the Wizard King, from that point forward they became official rivals, I guess. The manga shows us how a young Yuno spent tons of time practicing with his wind magic, whilst also secretly keeping tabs on Asta's progress. As a consequence of this rivalry, Yuno's personality drastically changed over the years, from a timid crybaby to a person who's unfazed by most things and just has supreme confidence that he can overcome anything and anyone. His level of skill is equal to that of royalty, if not greater, but as we know now, he does come from Spade Kingdom royalty, so it all makes sense. But with that said, that was the full backstory of Yuno Grinberryall. I'm hoping I'm saying that last name right, because I've never actually said it out loud until this video. But yeah, that was his backstory. If you've not seen Black Clover and you're kind of interested in this character, then I would definitely recommend picking up the series, either the manga or the anime, and you can learn all about him. This was just explaining what happened before we meet him in the anime, so if you want to know everything else, then check it out. I would recommend it. Let me know down below which topics you might like to see me cover from Black Clover, and until the next one, peace out.